Welcome to the Life Leader Podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Celeste, and I'm here for you, a heart-led entrepreneur, a life leader that wants to create a better world through your gifts. And enjoy your life while you are doing it. Lovely to have you here. So welcome to this episode of the Life Leader Podcast. And I'm so happy to share this chat I had with my friend Tarek Bliss Bibi. He's a beautiful man that I met over 7 years ago, and I could really see his potential already then. And yeah, he's a rising star with a massive following who has already changed the life of over 1 million people worldwide. He has been labeled an empath, indigo, starseed, earth angel, or light worker. And he works with business women and men on the spiritual path to help them thrive doing what they love. And he does that through his revolutionary infinite healing modality. And from that, he's able to help his clients achieve and manifest their heart's desires with infinite ease and grace. So yeah, isn't that something we would like to hear more about? Because in this episode, Tarek and I is gonna talk about money blocks and traumas. And Tarek is gonna share his own vulnerable story. And he's gonna talk about how money blocks we have, how they can be related to past traumas. And this is something I really also can see in my work with clients. So we're gonna dive into that and talk about how to release these traumas so that you can come back to your full essence. Yeah, we're also gonna look at how money blocks and sexual trauma can be related, and what a beautiful force that can come through and be open up when we really transform this, because it is possible. That's both mine and Tarek's experience. So I hope you will enjoy this episode, and welcome and enjoy. Yeah, I'm so happy to have everyone that are listening right now, and my special guest, you here, Tarek. It's lovely to have you here. So I just welcome you with all of my heart, and just let me know, or let everybody that listening know who you are, and how you are working with people to start with now.
Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate you. Thanks for the opportunity. We go way back to one of my favorite experiences in life, beautiful Tasmanian island in Australia. Rainbow gathering, one of my favorite experiences in life. So I have really good neurological pathways connecting to you.
Aww. Thank you.
And it's beautiful that we get to recreate, a connection, but through a very different platform, so Zoom and all that, but it still has the beautiful energies of our collaboration and wanting to share with the world. So I would say for me, if I was to give folks, first of all, I want to start off by saying thank you for the opportunity. My intention is that everyone leaves this call more activated, inspired, actualized, motivated than they did when they left. So I want to give you guys that from the start, that if you stick with us till the end, we're going to do some activations so you really not just hear new things and learn new things, but come out of this more empowered and remembered. I don't like the word healed, but remembered parts you might have forgotten. Patricia, the part of my story I would share is just growing up, feeling lost, confused, very empathic, very sensitive, feeling like I came from a different universe where it was more heart-centered, and I found planet Earth to be very dense, very confused. I didn't fit in school. I was getting really bad grades, and I just got bullied a lot, put down a lot, felt really stupid, was told I was stupid. My teachers would always say, why can't you be like your older brother, who I was just at the gym with him earlier today, and he was like the golden child and best grades and all that, and I was like the black sheep of the family. So I always felt lesser than. I felt the least in class, because the value system in school, unfortunately, it's like good grades, you're good enough, bad grades, not good enough. And it was such a focus. And at home, my dad, my mom, how are you doing? Are you still doing bad? So like getting bad grades equated, I'm a bad person. So I just felt like not a good person. I'll never measure up. It's never enough. Doing some past life regression and inner child regression, there's some experience when I was age 4 to do with like entities. I won't get really into it, but it was activating my sexual energy. So I got really sexually charged at an early age. For those wondering, why am I why am I doing something about sexual trauma? Almost every session I do, there's a sexual trauma component. So I never experienced sexual trauma. I didn't think I did, but then apparently, when you're a kid and you have nightmares and things, if you guys watch the movie Monsters Inc., like it's not just a movie, it's like really a documentary about what happens in the spiritual realm with entities and stuff like that. So they feed off of our energy. So it activated my Kundalini. So I was highly sexually charged, more than I think I already came into this world. Aries are just very, sexual beings, I feel. But on top of that, so a lot of that was unconsciously feeding this non-physical being. And so that's a violation in some form, it's some trauma in some form. And I wasn't aware of that. But the things I was aware of, just feeling different and not fitting in and not feeling good enough. And, fast forward, we immigrate to Canada. I was in Dubai at the time. I was born in Jordan. My parents, Lebanese, Syrian, Palestinian. And so moving to Canada, Toronto, and then it just downward spiraled. I was like doing so much drugs, so much alcohol, cocaine, getting into a lot of fights, and just really spiraling out of control. And something intuitively, Patricia told me, I had like a bag of MDMA and I used to club on the weekends, and something told me, you're done with that, because I almost got a heart attack over drinking, over smoking, and my heart felt like it was going to stop one day. And I prayed to get a second chance, and my heart went back to beating. But in my mind, I thought it could beat, it could not beat. I have no clue. So even though it was like a few seconds, it was like a very major moment that I'll never forget. And I cleaned up my act. So I felt like I had a second chance at life, and it fast-tracked my evolution because I was 25 at the time. And it just forced me to have to change everything. So Aries are very extreme. So it was like all these bad things, and now it's like no drugs, no alcohol, vegetarian diet. Like, I was the worst student. Now I'm the biggest nerd. Like I'm reading every book about spirituality, manifestation, law of attraction. So just the pendulum swung in such an extreme way. But I had a bag of MDMA pills, which is ecstasy, but like a pure form of that. And something intuitively, I'm very intuitive, something intuitively told me, take one a day and like get rid and never, and then stop drugs, alcohol, everything. Just like take one. And this is before all the research came out about how MDMA is helping people with PTSD and healing traumas. Like now they're very aware of it. And this is back in 2004-ish. My intuition said do that, and best thing ever, because I did it at home with intent. Like I wasn't awakened, but I had always had a spiritual side to me with my moon in Pisces, and feeling my guidance was helping me very clearly at that time. So I popped one a day, baths, like healing music, candles. I think I had incense sticks, journaling, everything. All the tools that we're aware of now, I intuitively did them then. And it just felt like a whole death rebirth, which we talked about, your ascendant, just like death rebirth and shedding the limiting beliefs, breaking out of the matrix. I got my guidance saying I have to reach out to, because I love my dad. My dad loves me. I thought as a kid he hated me, and I created that belief. But I realize now he cared so much. He always went to work. He never took a day off. He provided the best lifestyle for us, best schools, best everything. He just had maybe some toughness from his childhood that he transferred that tough love to me. And I perceived it being a very delicate kid, like, wow, this guy hates my guts. Like, he doesn't want me to succeed, but he was trying to push me to succeed. It's like old school military, way of doing things. And then here I am, this empathic, sensitive, connected to the stars kind of person. And then I had to reach out, and he was in Dubai, I was in Toronto. And the hardest thing I ever had to do so far was to reach out at that time and confront something that was never spoken about. Things would happen and no one spoke about them. There's no resolution. So it just kept building. And part of all the drugs and alcohol was me just hating myself or not thinking I was worthy of love. And through emailing him and saying, I don't know why you hated me, and him saying, are you kidding? Like, I never hated you. I see a lot of me in you. And my parents, were tough with me, and I'm doing my best. So it just hearing that just shattered this wall I created, that I'm not good enough, not worthy. And all the tears started pouring down. And it just felt like a rebirth in that moment. I let the love in for the first time. And then, fast track, I created a healing modality because I wasn't getting the results I was looking for from other healers. I still was stuck and blocked. And out of that frustration, I was like, I'm going to create, my guide said, create something. And I resisted it for 2 years. And when I birthed it, it became something that transformed my life, healing my traumas, and, going from broke and in debt to making six figures and helping other people make six figures from their gifts, and finding my passion and life purpose as a healer, and, started loving myself more than ever before, and traveling the world. And it's been amazing. And I realized not everyone does that journey. And so because I did it earlier on, I could do it so easily now. So I've been blessing that forgiveness process ever since I did it. So I forgave my father, and now I hold space for others to forgive those that they're holding resentment to. I found my purpose, and I help other people find their purpose. I hit a certain amount financially, and I help other people do that. So whatever I achieve, I just bless it forward.
Beautiful. Wow, what a story. What a journey. It's so amazing to hear. And I think a lot of people that listening to this can, even if they don't have your story, but they can relate to so much coming from that really dark space, and then coming through that, or maybe they right now are working on that and coming through that. So it's so beautiful to hear what actually can happen and how it can completely change. And I know that when we met 7 years ago, I know you were already like doing this amazing work with entrepreneurs and spiritual entrepreneurs, and supporting them in so many beautiful ways. So, and so thank you so much for sharing this. And now the topic that we're gonna go more into is also this about the money, because that's so charged for, I would say, the most of us.
Yes.
And the most of us have money blocks. Like, we might think that we don't have, but when we then open the Pandora's little box, there comes a lot of things. So yeah, what would you say about that? Like, because what I understand is that you work a lot with money blocks, and you can see a lot of them comes from traumas. So would you like to say a little bit about that?
Yeah, 100%. I would say do an inventory, like get a piece of paper and write down what are the beliefs I have about money or like worthiness. I feel people who experience traumas connect. The connection is I'm not able to receive as much financial abundance because I don't think I'm worthy. I think I don't have what it like. There's an imposter syndrome, like I'm faking it. A lot of people are great at their gifts, but for some reason they still feel like an imposter. They think they're just winging it, especially in the spiritual healing world, because it's not a physical thing. So we think we're imposters. If we have traumas, we think other people are way better than us, which I suffered with. And we think there's stuff that comes up. It's very emotional. Money is very emotional. Like, how can I tell someone I'm worth this amount? Like, your session is worth infinite. There's no price point to put on you. Your value, our value is infinite just from being. And we need to remember that. But as we're remembering it, you can put a price point on a value point on what are some of the results people get working with you, right? So I highly recommend people I'm here to motivate people, to spiritual healers especially, to own their value, charge their worth. So like, finding out what the limiting beliefs are of, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not deserving, I'm not worthy, I don't have what it takes, I'm not, other people are better, I'm an imposter. Write those beliefs down and clear them and affirm every day the opposite. So I am worthy, I'm deserving, I'm good enough. I'm owning my value, I'm charging my worth, I'm getting myself out there. A lot of us are afraid to be seen for who we really are. A lot of my clients are closet healers or closet spiritual entrepreneurs, and they're not getting themselves out there. There's this subconscious fear of, if I'm fully seen, bad things will happen to me. A lot of past life regressions I used to do, people went back and saw themselves as witches being burned because they were very tapped into the divine and worked with the plants and medicines of the earth. And there's this pattern of betrayal, like society turning their back on them or betraying them, or it's like this, it's right below the surface. So we really need to show that part of our subconscious that it's safe, that when we share our brilliance and our authenticity, not only will it be received, but it'll feel great, it'll feel empowering. There's nothing like being your full self and having everything line up, because when you pretend you're not an amazing infinite being, you're going to have relationships that fall short, careers that don't match. Everything is a mismatch. But then when you go, I'm going to be my infinite brilliant self, then you're telling the universe, yes, I am this amazing being. And then the aligned job, aligned relationships, aligned opportunities happen. But it starts with the throat chakra, really saying, I am expressing my authenticity. Even if 99% of the planet doesn't vibe with who you are, you'll attract that 1% that are your soul tribe and soul clients.
And thank you for saying that. I think that's so important for so many to hear, that 1% that you're talking about, it's actually huge if you think about the whole planet. Yeah, and that's also that if we could go a little bit into quantum physics, like if we really go into and own our light or the guidance and what we feel we are here for, that will attract that 1% as well. So we don't have to worry, but we dare to step out, as you say, out from the closet and just not hiding, because then no one will see you, no one will feel you. Yeah. So yeah,
like all the movies that we love have that heroine's journey. Like think of Lord of the Rings, the hobbits leave and they go and they fight the darkness and all this, or Star Wars. Like which movie did we watch where they stay at home, they feel like losers, and they stay at home and they feel like losers and they don't do anything? Like no one likes that movie. because they didn't go through the journey, right?
Yeah, nothing happens then. It's like, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we all love the underdog because we resonate with it. It's a collective story in our collective unconscious. And yeah, I love the movie, the book Power versus Force, because it talks about what you were saying. Like if you can vibrate at a certain Christ consciousness frequency, you can impact the whole planet. And how there's a difference between like forcing something to happen and like using the using like using your power to manifest and attract and take inspired action if needed, versus like trying to force something and it's not working. You force it and it's not working. So it's really important to learn how is it best for you to show up in this world. I always tell my clients, let's create your menu. Think of yourself having a restaurant. What's your menu? A lot of people just are stuck in the, this is my session, this is a price point. And I try to remind them, go outside of a price point, because we're so conditioned, like per hour, everything's per hour. When we work at jobs, it's like clocking in, clocking out, and try to forget that. Try to own your infinite value, because you can hold space for someone and in an hour they can receive $1 billion value. So why not charge $1 billion? Like there are coaches out there who charge 100,000, 500,000, $1 million for one session. And are they better than us? No. But have they claimed more of their value? Are they more confident in charging their worth? Yes. Is that something we can continuously do? Yes. And it's an infinite journey. You can, the more, starts off with a certain amount and then you double it and you triple it. And the more, it's a game. To me, it's a game. And how do you know if you're doing it right? Is if you, after someone pays you for a session, if you don't feel juiced up, you don't feel excited, it doesn't do something to you, then you're probably undercharging. And you want to charge something where it's a little scary, a little out of your comfort zone, because that's where you're going to grow. And we have so much to learn about money. Like a lot of times people bring themselves down because if people don't have money, we're not supposed to buy into the stories of our clients. Jesus, when people said people were blind, Jesus wouldn't be like, yeah, you're blind, that sucks for you. He'd be like, I'm going to see past that. I see you being able to see. I see you being able to walk if they weren't able to walk. So as people hold space for others to remember who they are, aka healers, it's really important we don't buy into these stories. So first we work on ourselves and not buy into this. So we really got to do what did we learn from mom? What did we learn from dad? What's mom's stuff, dad's stuff, grandparents' stuff, and break those ancestral patterns and cycles, because it could still be lingering. So we want to clear the belief systems and create new ones with daily affirmations or using hypnosis. There's tons of YouTube videos for every area of your life you can listen to at night. I create them myself, and you can find them on YouTube. Program your mind, your subconscious while you're sleeping is such a powerful hack. And then the emotions, like if you have one emotion of like guilt, or today I was talking to someone about shame, one of the heaviest emotions, especially when we experience trauma, a lot of us carry shame. We're just like, no one wants anything to do with us. We're walking around with this like black cloud around us and we feel shameful. So we really need to dive deep through healing sessions, plant medicine journeys, or whatever resonates for you to get to those emotions, breath work, and release those core emotions that are still lingering. And how do you know what they are? Like, look at your life. What's the pattern? For me, whenever I'm at festivals, they seem to like come up because it's like a lot of high frequency people mirroring me. So, or in relationships, you kind of can't escape it. In a relationship, they're going to mirror our shadows, our stuff, right? Childhood stuff, unresolved stuff. So, take a note. You can live this life as a victim saying everything's out to get you, or you can live your life like your higher self is using people around you to mirror to you what's unresolved within yourself. And if you move forward with that mentality, then you don't run away when those things happen. You're like, this is where the spiritual gold is. There's something for me here. I've given away my power to this emotion, and now even though it's going to trigger the emotion of, let's say, abandonment or rejection, if we don't run from it and try to numb it, if we can be with that feeling of, ooh, rejection. Oh, okay. What does it feel like? Oh, where do I feel it? Ooh, where did this come from? Yeah, childhood. Okay. Can I just like love myself through this? Can I surrender to the ground and take some breaths and just be present? A lot of times it comes up and immediately we want to numb it, run away from it, fight the person who's mirroring it to us, like everything except for what the real gift is in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Oh, it's so beautiful, everything you talk with about here, because that's something I work with also with my clients, and
Yeah.
it's so important. It's so important to feel. It's so and like also, you know, as you say, like release it somehow. I say we have to move the energy, because we can also sit and we can feel a lot. Some people get stuck in that. They just get stuck in the feeling, and it's kind of a frozen state. But we have to also see, we have to move that energy and believe that it can transform, and we don't have to hold on to it either. So it's so important to acknowledge and to feel, and then also allow it to go and flow when it's time. And that's sometimes actually more earlier than we might think as well. And that's where you said like all this affirmation comes in, and that's so important. But we can't start in the affirmation without feeling and acknowledge, because then we spiritual bypassing also. So we, exactly as you say here, we have to go through this journey and dare to go step by step.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I would say create your menu for your find someone who's 5-10 steps past where you're at, follow them on all social media, read their books, like have their energies around you, so that you're inspired, right? You want to have people, you don't want to have people bringing you down. You don't want to have people who don't believe in their dreams. You don't want to have people not fulfilling their passions and purpose. You want to surround yourself with like-minded, like-hearted people who are actually doers, achievers, dreamers, believers. And you want to have that energy because it's like very contagious, kind of be around you through the podcasts you're listening to, the books you're reading, documentaries, and then even start a mastermind, join a mastermind, find a mentor. Ideally, the biggest, shortest hack is find a mentor who's 5-10 steps past where you're at, and then have that person stretch you past your comfort zone. Believe in yourself, be your cheerleader, be your coach, be, your mother, father, or whatever, the nurturer, the tough love, all in one, to help you up level. And because the mind, like, let's say you've always charged, I don't know, $200-400 a session, and then this other person who charges thousands of dollars for like higher end packages comes along. Because it's so easy and normal for them, it's easy for them to transfer that confidence to you. So saying, Patricia, like, I see you, I see your value, you're reminding me of how I was like at a certain point in my journey. And it's like, I remember, and then they can save you from the pitfalls, they can save you time and energy, they can save you going around in circles trying to figure it out on your own. And I was because of the trauma, I didn't feel good enough. I felt like it was me against the world. I have to figure it out on my own. And whenever I tried to get help, it almost felt like there was a closed group of people who they were the success people, and I was outside here trying to get in. And as soon as I figured it out, I prayed for a mentor. And I was so terrified when he was like, hey, we can work together. And I came up with this phrase where it's like, I pray for things. Please, God, help me make more money. Help me figure out this business thing. I pray, it comes my way. So it materializes in a form of a mentor, or a coach, or a book or something. My ego gets afraid and I run away. So I played that pattern for years. I pray for help. It comes my way. I get afraid. I run away. And it only broke, that cycle, when I prayed for help. It came my way. I got afraid and I still said yes. that was the game changer. And like nothing, no book, no anything no visualization, nothing can prepare you because it's real time. It's like one of those things where, let's say you're single and you're just like not feeling like you look good or whatever, and then your soulmate's in the elevator with you. Like you can't, it doesn't happen on your time. It happens when you're like fully surrendered and you don't feel it's, sometimes the mind's like, wait, I'm not ready. The mind's never ready. The mind is really never ready. It's always thinking future, past. So,
Yeah, and it always come up with excuses.
right, exactly. No, that's yeah. What's underneath the excuses? So if you're, yeah, because the mind can work against you. Hey, Patricia, I'd love to work with you, but my mind's saying these are the 100 reasons why I can't work with you. And then if you just flip that and go, okay, those are all the reasons you can't. Now let's ask the mind, what are the 100 reasons how you can make this work? You know, I remember one of my friends, she wanted to go to this concert. I don't know if you guys know Tool, very spiritual, rocky, like kind of spiritual rock band, and their prices are high. And she was so determined, I'm gonna go to this concert. She went to every person's, like where they throw the recycling on Tuesdays or whatever happens here in Toronto, picked up all the beer bottles and wine bottles, went to the beer store, and you get like 25 cents per bottle or something. She packed her car with so many bottles that she got that $250 ticket. And it just, and one of my mentors told me there's this thing called price elasticity. It's like, if you really want something, you will move mountains to make it happen. So feel the fear and still take action was a game changer for me. So you want to do the things that you're resisting, that your ego is like terrified to do. Those are the things that we want to do because they're going to transform our lives. 100,000 people could have the way to help you succeed. You don't want it from anyone. You want it from what I call your soul tribe. You know, it's something about, it's not about just knowing the formula. It's about, do I trust this person? Do I resonate with this person? Does this person care about me? Are they on a similar soul frequency, right? To me, I recommend finding a mentor who's of your tribe because they speak your language, they get it, they get your mission. It's different than just like, I remember some speakers would come from the States, I'm here in Canada, and they'd be like, all right, so it's all about sales, I'll make money. I'm like, yeah, no, this is not going to work for me or my clients, because we're very empathic. We see through the salesy bullshit, and you know, we that stuff doesn't work with us. It really, I always like hold space for clients to feel into their hearts what's a yes. I almost want to teach a course on like empathic sales, like sales for empaths, because my like sales success rate is like 95%, and it's not pushy at all. It's the opposite of what we judge sales to be. It's like holding space. It's like a very vulnerable decision when someone's like, yes, I'm ready to change my life. And there's an art to it, and I almost want to teach people how to do that, because it's no different. It's not like now I'm going to be a salesperson and now I'm going to be a healer. It's all the same. I'm holding space in a healing session. I'm holding space when they're about to make the biggest decision that's going to change their lives. But can you love your client more than they like? Can you care about them when their ego is scared? How can you? It's not about forcing them or like making them feel bad. It's like, hey, is there something underneath that? Like you were saying earlier, Patricia, there's always an excuse, right? So I go, when I hear excuses, I go, okay, you know, the mind's job is to come up with things to protect you because it looks at opportunities as a threat. Something new is a threat. Growing outside of your comfort zone is a threat. So it's going to attack us. And I always go, well, tune into your heart. What does your heart say about this decision? And then you get them out of their heads with 100 excuses not to do something, and their hearts are like, yeah, I need to move forward with this. So how can you hold space for them to get out of their heads into their hearts, or even use the mind? So they're saying, these are all the reasons I can't. Then I would go, well, what are all the reasons you can? Because I signed up to work with my mentor when I was broke, receiving government assistance, which was like, I don't know, $800 a month. I mean, rent was $750 at the time. So I was making negative, you know, $400 or $500 a month. And I had like $30,000 of debt at like 27-ish. People laugh at me when I say 30,000. They're like, that's all? I was 27. You're not supposed to have a shitload of debt at 27. I don't know. And he was still like, hey, are you going to work with me? And I was resisting it. I was like, no, I don't have the money and blah, blah, blah. And he gave us this exercise that I've been blessing for it ever since. So not having money doesn't stop me. All my clients, when they are about to work with me, that's what they say. I'd love to work with you. I don't have money. Great. That's what everyone says. Now let's figure out how we're going to make this. Like, you just don't buy into the story. You got to override it. You got to be bigger than it. Right. So it's like, if you're functioning here, don't bring yourself down to the lies and the limitations. You want to stay up there and bring your clients into, don't worry, there's a way. So he blessed me with this exercise. It's like, write 5 to 10 ways you can make an extra 500 a month. And I wrote 5 to 10 ways, and I circled the one that was the easiest, fastest way to do it. And I signed up to work with him for 500 a month. It was a big deal for me at that time. And I found a way, and I made the 500 a month. So price elasticity, if you really want it, you'll make it happen. Don't buy into your client stories, no matter what they say, and hold that energy so they come up to your standard. And I would also say, know what disqualifies a client. It's like in relationships, you know your non-negotiables in a relationship. Like if they're liars, or they're dishonest, or they're manipulative, or they're narcissistic, you're not that's a deal breaker. So what is your deal breaker with clients? You can't, like, I realize you can't care about them more than they care about themselves. You can't want them to succeed more than they want to succeed themselves. So you can't be dragging them forward. I attract clients that want to, they're go-getters, they're achievers, they believe they have a bigger spiritual purpose. They'll do whatever it takes. It doesn't mean that they all have so much money and they're ready to drop thousands of dollars, but they have that drive. So you need to be clear about what those qualities are, what those non-negotiables are. So when you attract someone who's not a good fit, you can actually say no, and you're doing yourself and them a service, because sometimes all it takes is one client who just brings everyone's energy down to mess it up. So you got to send the scarcity and say no to certain people.
Yeah, and this is so important, because I know for me, when I started as a coach, I took on everyone. And that's what we do. And it's nothing, in a way, it's nothing wrong with that. It's perfect, because that's then we also what we learn, what we want and what we don't want, like which people that resonate with us to work with and which ones that doesn't. But then we have to start to dare to switch, as you say, to be more like, but this is the one that I can help the most, actually, because they resonate with me. So thank you for sharing that. I was just thinking, it's so lovely. It's to talk with you. I was thinking just maybe you can say a little bit about the new upcoming program that you're doing, and then maybe we can finish with some activation, something that you share, like some exercises, something beautiful, a rap or whatever that comes through.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, because tell me about the upcoming program.
Yes, thank you so much. So sex and money trauma healing program. So we've had a lot of resistance towards doing a program about sexual trauma. It's like such a taboo thing, and I feel it's our collective's biggest elephant in the room. It's like, if we were all collectively, the whole planet, in one circle, there's like a huge elephant in the middle of that circle, and everyone's just like not wanting to talk about it. So we're confronting it head on. I've partnered up with my partner in this program is Dr. Alicia Antica. She specializes, badass Virgo, specializes in sexual trauma. Like, she's got thousands of followers on TikTok, and she's speaking the truth to younger audiences and sharing things so that they empower themselves, enlighten themselves with tools, and let them know they're not alone in this, and they don't have to continue their whole lives carrying this anymore. So she specializes in sexual trauma. I specialize in financial abundance manifestation. We realize there's a connection. When you don't feel good enough, you don't feel safe, you don't have confidence, you can't charge your worth, you're over giving, under receiving, you're not believing in yourself, you don't believe you can have better clients, you don't believe you can sell higher packages worth thousands of dollars. Like, yeah, so all those things, you reclaim that, you remember it. So we put together an 8-module, 8-week program. We're launching it next week on July 5th, 6th, and 7th. We're doing a free online summit. We've invited speakers and to speak on these topics of financial abundance. We have a woman who teaches women how to become financially free in like 5 years. Financially free, not financially abundant. We have people who specialize in sexual trauma and financial life purpose alignment, all these great things. So I would say my gift to your audience is if you go to Tarek Bibi, Tarek, Bibi, B as in Bob, B as in Bob, I.com / the word sex and A&D money, sex and money. You can receive our first module. It's called Integrate Your Shadow for free. So I want to gift you guys the first week, the first module for free. Experience that for yourself. We've had tons of testimonials just from that one module. And then if you want to take the whole program, you can. And by signing up to that free module, we'll send you an email for you to join our 3-day summit, July 5th, 6th, and 7th. It's from 9 a.m. Eastern time to 12 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll be doing some powerful healings for abundance and inner child healing and all that good stuff.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
And I can put them in the comments or in the description here. I can put the links. But I would just get curious because this is, as you said, this is a big elephant in the room. I have also worked a lot with women and sexual trauma through yoni mapping therapy for many years, and I can so relate to what you're saying. It's really come down to our self-worth here. Can you just say a little bit with what you have seen a little bit more the bridge, like the sexual trauma and the money blocks, how they goes together? Can you say a little bit more about that?
So the experiences I've seen is like clients having abusive bosses, or getting bullied at work, or a boss saying, yeah, work, more hours and you're not getting paid anymore, and you're not going to get a raise, and like just mind games and narcissism and bullying and all that kind of power struggles, right? If it manifests as a power struggle. So if you were violated by a man and you're a woman, it plays out as like a male authority figure, right? So, and then when she did the work with me, she had her best friend beg her to come work in this new company. He's like, I can put you in a higher position than she was before. She's working less hours, whereas in the other one she was overworking. Single mom too. And now she's working less hours, she's getting paid more, she's seen for who she is, she's appreciated. She's moving up in terms of responsibility and respect at her workplace. So it went from one extreme to the opposite extreme. And it just goes to show that all these subconscious things from childhood, we just take the abuse. Like, we just take it because we don't think we deserve better. We don't think we're valuable, or we don't know how to stand up for ourselves, or we don't know how to set healthy boundaries with other people. So it really manifests in so many different ways. And for everyone listening, I invite you to look in and go, how is your childhood stuff playing out in terms of a power struggle, or like, what is the root of your money block? Is it an emotion? Is it it's been 15 years of doing this work, Patricia, and every single time I go, okay, during the session, let's get to the root of your money block. It's always, I would say 95% of the time, it's something. Sometimes they're shocked, like, wow, I'm seeing my granddad, I'm seeing my father, I'm seeing my mom. I don't remember this thing happening. My mom wasn't hanging out with me when I was a kid and I needed her support. So there's so many things. Like, all it takes is one of those things for us to create, oh, mom, dad don't care about me. Oh, mom's not there for me. Abandonment issues, not trusting. all it takes is one of those experiences stored somewhere in our field, and it could be sabotaging our financial success.
Yeah, because when we talk about trauma, I have also learned I've done a lot of trauma-informed courses. I feel it's so important when we work with clients to have that awareness. It doesn't mean we are trauma therapists, but to have the awareness of the trauma, because trauma can feel also like a big word. It's like, oh, but I haven't, people can maybe feel I haven't experienced trauma, but there's so much things that, it's a scale.
Yeah.
And when I have worked with women and sexuality, this can be these small traumas that even we have done to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we have, for example, got into a sexual intimacy with someone. We have said yes to something. That person that we had that sexual interaction with was maybe a really nice person, but we stepped our boundaries because we didn't feel worthy, and we create this sexual trauma in our body, and that's holding us. So it's so important, as you say, that to go into, okay, where is all this? It's not that we have to find all the situations, but to go through our life a little bit and feel where I'm not aligned, where did it feel not good, and where did my body shut down? Because when we find this way to open up, sexuality, it's a force, it's a life force. It's not always a sexual, how we maybe think about it. It's like our life force. And when we open up to that, wow, there is abundance coming in so many ways.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what's coming to me is I had one of my mentors does men's circles in California, and he gave me this like phrase to tell women when you're meeting them. And to be honest, as empathic as I am, as much like I work with women, love women, like I write songs for women. The Goddess Anthem is one of the songs I've written. Like, my mom, I love my mom, and she made such an impact on who I am. I still can't say I know what it feels like for women to experience sexual trauma or anything like that. But I have empathy, and I'm an ally, to women. Is like, I would love to be seen as I am seen, and would love to continue to be seen as someone who's like, because it's very now it's like, oh man, we're women, we get together, we support each other. And it's something very healing for women to know there are men out there that are heart-centered and masculine, or who love seeing women shine and succeed and want to hold space and be caring. Like, we are there. And so I started sharing this phrase, and some women would cry when I'd say it. And I go right off the bat, I did it today with a friend, and I was like, I want you to know that I have no intentions to want to, be with you in any other way other than just a friend. Like, I'm taking care of my needs are met. And I just want to create safety in our connection, and get to know you as a friend. And just saying something like that, just, it's almost like the checking. Like, I didn't know, I just lead with innocence, and I project innocence onto others sometimes, and I forget this is someone, they don't know who I am. They see me as a strong masculine energy. And so just saying that, it's beautiful. I let them into a vulnerable part of me, because I shake sometimes when I say it. It's just so vulnerable when I share it. And to see them kind of soften up and allow more and be more in the feminine is a beautiful thing. So I feel like with being a masculine is a beautiful responsibility to, create that safety. And I think by leading, by being expressing radical transparency, radical vulnerability, it really creates an openness and a safety container. So I just share that as something we can all do starting now.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I feel what you just said here is so important for the world to hear, because it's healing both the masculine and the feminine within us all, you know, to hear that and to understand that as men and also as women, when we are vulnerable, that's really healing a lot. Vulnerable with someone that we trust, you know. And then then also for women to hear that there is men out there. I have met so many beautiful men that are like you, and to not give up hope. And through that, the more we work with our own healing, the more we will open up for these people to come into our awareness, and we will see it will come into reality, and we will see that it's real. And then in that we will transform so much of our traumas and also the money blocks and things, because everything is related.
100%.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I don't know, do you have some time to share something short that the audience can take with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll do a little rap from one of my songs called Phoenix from the Fire that I learned at the Rainbow Gathering. So I did a rap version of it, and I'll do a quick activation after it. And also, if you guys go to tarekbliss.com/gifts, you get a whole list of my music for free and money activations and healings for free. But for now, I'll share. I believe in just one thing, infinite abundance for all beings, so we can live like kings and queens, doing what makes our hearts sing. I believe in the new currency of trust and of equality for my brothers and sisters, because we all came here to be. We all came from the source. We've come a long way from home. We've got a long way to go. Share with everyone that you know. Everything they told us is wrong. Ever since the time we were born, we got to break free from this prison planet we're on. So don't hate on us when we're sharing our love. We just want to liberate you so you can rise up above. We're made of the same stuff. We're made of the same dust. If we can regain trust, then we will remain tough. Separation's a lie. Evolution's a lie. Don't believe in everything that you can see with your eyes, and we're banging our drums. The time has now come. Let's take a stand for what is right until we have won. Let's take a stand for what is right until we have won.
Woo! Yay! Wow, such a powerful ending.
And then it goes into, we are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Spread your wings and fly high. I left that for a female vocalist to do that part because she sings it better than me. And then I would love to do a quick activation. So imagine source, God, universe, whatever word used for the divine, present right now, more intentionally present, more clearly here to help activate, remember who we are. And we're just activating an infinity healing to allow source, God, universe to do infinite things for us relating to financial abundance. How about we just do for security on all levels? Would you like an infinity healing to activate security on all levels? I'm safe, I'm secure, as a belief, as a feeling, as an emotion, from the root chakra, inner child. If you'd like that, just say yes. Yes, and take a deep belly breath. Releasing the beliefs, fears, emotions, root traumas, childhood experiences, things from mom, dad, ancestral lineage, all lifetimes in the way of you experiencing infinite security on all levels. Feeling at home in your body, feeling safe in your body, feeling safe on this planet, feeling at home in your being on planet Earth. And letting that ripple into our relationships, into manifesting more financial abundance, anchoring into our dream home with our beautiful dream soul community, soul tribe, feeling like the universe is bending over backwards to help us, provide for us, support us, miracles, synchronicities, intuitive nudges, all playing out to help us live the most miraculous life possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Yeah,
Wow.
that's it for now.
Thank you so much, Tarek. This was wonderful.
You're very welcome.
I'm sure the ones that have listened have got a lot out of it. And yeah, you can get even more. So I will put the links in the
Thank you.
description here.
Thank you. And Patricia, I'd love to share this when it's ready with my newsletter and stuff. So please let me know, and I'll put it out there as well. And please, if you're listening and this resonates and you want to bless it forward, please bless it forward.
Yeah, let's share the healing and the love and everything that comes from our heart.
Patricia, you're awesome. You're amazing. I see you, sister. Keep shining.
Thank you. The same. Thank you so much for coming on to this episode, and take care and see you another time.
Yes, we love that. Love you guys. Stay sovereign, stay empowered, and I'll see you soon.
Gosh, wasn't that an amazing chat we had? I really hope you took a lot out of this. And yes, feel free to share this, leave a comment, like, and remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode of the Light Leaders podcast. I will come with so much more beautiful guests and inspiration for you, and I really appreciate that you are here, that you are willing to shine your light in the world, because you are so important in who you are and what you want to create. Never forget that. So thank you and take care. Bye.